Did you know that nearly 80% of seniors over the age of 65 live with some form of heart disease or are at major risk of developing it within the next decade? Even more terrifying, many of these individuals don't realize that some of their innocent morning habits are silently weakening their hearts every single day. It's not always about smoking or eating fried foods. Sometimes it's the small routines you think are harmless that can quietly chip away at your cardiovascular strength. And because heart disease often develops slowly, without obvious symptoms until it's too late, the damage can build up for years before showing itself in a sudden heart attack or stroke. Now, here's the really shocking part. Recent studies reveal that a single bad habit practiced daily in the morning can increase your risk of heart attack by as much as 40%, even if you eat well and exercise later in the day. That's why today we're uncovering the top 5 morning habits seniors must avoid at all costs. And make sure you stay until the very end, because habit number 1 is the scariest of all. It's something so common that almost every senior does it, without realizing it may be doubling their risk of heart failure. Before we dive in, if you care about staying sharp, healthy, and strong as you age, hit that like button and subscribe. And share this with a friend who needs to hear this too. It might change their life. Number 5, skipping breakfast and starting the day on an empty stomach. For decades, many people have heard the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But some seniors, either because of old dieting advice, loss of appetite, or a belief that skipping a meal won't do much harm, start their mornings without eating anything. What they don't realize is that skipping breakfast isn't just about missing calories, it directly affects the heart in dangerous ways. When you wake up after a night of fasting, your body is already in a mild state of stress. Blood sugar levels are low, cortisol, which is the stress hormone, is high, and your heart is working harder to maintain balance. Eating a balanced breakfast helps stabilize these fluctuations, but when you skip it, the body releases even more cortisol and adrenaline to compensate. Over time, this extra surge of stress hormones puts a heavy strain on your cardiovascular system. Studies published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that seniors who skipped breakfast were 87% more likely to die from cardiovascular causes compared to those who ate in the morning. Why? Because skipping breakfast has been linked to higher blood pressure, increased cholesterol, insulin resistance, and atherosclerosis, the hardening of arteries. All of these create the perfect storm for heart attacks and strokes. Imagine your heart as an engine. If you don't put fuel in it at the start of the day, it sputters and runs unevenly. Eventually, it wears down faster. A simple breakfast with fiber, protein, and healthy fats, like oatmeal with berries and a handful of nuts, can dramatically reduce morning heart strain. Seniors often believe that having just coffee counts as breakfast, but that only makes the issue worse. Coffee on an empty stomach spikes acid production, worsens stress hormones, and accelerates dehydration, which also thickens the blood and increases clot risk. Skipping breakfast may feel harmless, but over years, it's like slowly tightening a rope around your heart. Number 4. Drinking too much coffee immediately after waking up. Coffee is one of the most beloved morning rituals worldwide, and many seniors feel they can't function without it. But here's the problem. Having coffee immediately after waking up, especially before drinking water or having any food, can seriously burden the heart. When you wake up, cortisol levels are already high. This hormone is designed to naturally wake your body and prepare you for the day. Adding caffeine right on top of that is like throwing gasoline on a fire. It spikes adrenaline, increases blood pressure sharply, and puts unnecessary stress on your heart muscle. Studies from the American Heart Association show that seniors who consume multiple cups of coffee early in the morning have higher incidences of arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, and sudden surges in blood pressure that can damage fragile arteries. The effect is even worse if you already have hypertension or are on heart medications because caffeine can interfere with how those drugs work. Another hidden danger is dehydration. Coffee acts as a diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more and lose fluids. Since many seniors already struggle with dehydration, starting the day with coffee before water makes the blood thicker, which increases the likelihood of clots that can trigger a stroke or heart attack. Think of your heart like a pump. If the liquid it's trying to push is too thick, the pump has to work much harder, eventually wearing itself out. It doesn't mean seniors should never enjoy coffee. In moderation, coffee has antioxidants that can actually help reduce inflammation. The key is timing. Having water first, waiting an hour after waking up, and then enjoying a cup with breakfast allows the body to process it safely without overwhelming the cardiovascular system. But if your first act every morning is gulping down coffee, your heart is paying the price. Number 3. Staying sedentary in the morning and not moving enough. One of the biggest hidden threats to seniors' hearts isn't something they actively do, but rather what they don't do, remaining completely sedentary after waking. Many older adults develop routines where they wake up, sit down with a newspaper or television, and stay inactive for hours before moving around. This inactivity is deceptively dangerous. The human circulatory system is designed to keep blood moving through muscle contractions. When you sit for long periods without activity, especially in the morning when circulation is sluggish, blood pools in the legs, the heart pumps less efficiently, and pressure builds up in the veins and arteries. This can lead to blood clots, varicose veins, and higher risks of heart failure. Research from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who sat for more than 3 hours every morning had nearly double the risk of developing cardiovascular disease compared to those who engaged in light activity. The problem is that the heart is like any other muscle. It weakens when not used. If you wake up and immediately move, even with simple stretches or a short walk, you're essentially jump-starting your heart, improving circulation, and reducing stiffness in arteries. On the other hand, long periods of sitting right after waking up make the blood sticky. Sticky blood means platelets are more likely to clump together, forming clots that can break free and travel to the heart or brain. Seniors may believe they're taking it easy to conserve energy, but what actually happens is the opposite. The heart is put under silent strain, and risks accumulate over time. The good news is that avoiding this doesn't require intense exercise. Even gentle stretching for 10 minutes or walking around the house while doing chores can dramatically reduce morning cardiovascular stress. Movement signals your body to release nitric oxide, a natural chemical that helps keep blood vessels open and flexible. Without it, arteries stiffen, pressure rises, and your heart carries the burden. If this is helpful so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more science-backed tips to keep you thriving at any age. And hey, share it with someone you love so they can make smarter choices too. Number 2. Eating high salt or processed breakfast foods first thing in the morning. For many seniors, breakfast feels incomplete without processed meats like bacon, sausages, or ham, along with buttered toast or packaged pastries. These foods may taste comforting, but they are some of the most dangerous choices you can make for your heart, especially early in the morning when your cardiovascular system is at its most vulnerable. Here's why. Your body's blood pressure naturally rises in the morning due to what's called the morning surge. This is a normal biological process where cortisol and adrenaline spike, preparing your body to wake up and move. But if you combine that natural surge with a breakfast loaded with sodium and saturated fats, you create a perfect storm. Sodium causes the body to retain water, which increases blood volume. More blood volume means the heart must pump harder, which raises blood pressure even higher. Studies in hypertension research show that seniors who consume high-salt breakfasts experience nearly a 20% greater increase in morning blood pressure compared to those who eat low-sodium meals. Over time, this extra strain can lead to stiffened arteries, heart enlargement, and eventual failure. Processed meats add another danger: nitrates and advanced glycation end products, both of which inflame the lining of your blood vessels. Inflammation makes arteries less flexible and more prone to plaque buildup, which is the root cause of heart attacks. Saturated fats in fried breakfast foods, like sausages or croissants, raise LDL cholesterol, which clogs arteries further. Combine all of these, and your heart is essentially starting its day running a marathon under extreme stress. Seniors often underestimate how much sodium is hiding in their meals. Even a single slice of bacon can contain around 200 milligrams of sodium, and most seniors eat several slices at a time. Add salted butter, cheese, or packaged bread, and you've already surpassed your daily recommended intake before the clock even hits 9 a.m. A better choice is simple but powerful. Opt for whole foods rich in potassium and magnesium, like bananas, avocados, or leafy greens, which naturally lower blood pressure by balancing sodium's effects. If you enjoy eggs, prepare them boiled or poached without heavy oils. It's not about removing all joy from breakfast, but about understanding how one salty, fatty morning meal can silently push your blood pressure into dangerous territory that damages your heart. When you repeat that habit for years, the accumulated toll can be devastating. Number 1. Ignoring morning blood pressure and stress signals. And now we arrive at the number 1 most dangerous morning habit for seniors, the one that is not only common but frighteningly overlooked. Ignoring your body's early warning signs and failing to check your blood pressure in the morning. Studies consistently show that the risk of heart attacks and strokes is highest between 6 a.m. and noon. Why? Because that's when your body naturally experiences its sharpest rise in blood pressure, its thickest blood viscosity, and its strongest surge in stress hormones. If you have hypertension, a condition affecting more than 70% of seniors, you may not feel any symptoms at all. Yet your blood vessels could be under massive strain without you knowing it. Many seniors assume that if they feel fine, their heart must be fine. But hypertension is called the silent killer for a reason. It does its damage quietly, often with no obvious signs until a catastrophic event occurs. Checking your blood pressure in the morning takes less than 2 minutes, yet countless seniors neglect it. Ignoring this habit means missing the chance to catch dangerous spikes before they cause irreversible harm. Imagine a small crack in a dam. If you check it daily, you can reinforce it before disaster strikes. If you ignore it, one day the dam bursts. The same goes for your arteries. Morning readings can alert you if your medication needs adjusting, if your diet is pushing your pressure too high, or if stress is having an outsized effect. Ignoring those signals leaves you blind to danger. Even worse, many seniors wake up and immediately launch into stressful routines, rushing to appointments, worrying about tasks, or turning on the news filled with negativity. Stress causes blood vessels to constrict, which makes the morning surge even more dangerous. Combined with dehydration, skipped meals, or excess caffeine, the risk multiplies. Research from the European Heart Journal found that seniors who failed to monitor morning blood pressure were twice as likely to suffer cardiovascular events compared to those who made it part of their routine. This is why ignoring your morning signals, your blood pressure, your stress levels, your hydration is the single most dangerous habit of all. It's not about paranoia or obsessing over numbers, but about respecting your heart enough to give it a fighting chance. So seniors, let's recap this critical message. Every morning, your heart is under unique pressure. What you do or don't do during those first few hours can either protect your cardiovascular system or put it on the fast track toward failure. Skipping breakfast leaves your heart running on fumes, spiking stress hormones that weaken arteries over time. Starting the day with coffee before anything else overloads your system with adrenaline and worsens dehydration, forcing your heart to work harder than it should. Staying sedentary, glued to a chair or screen, makes blood sticky, circulation sluggish, and clots more likely. Choosing high salt, processed foods at breakfast compounds the natural morning blood pressure surge, inflaming and clogging arteries. And the most dangerous habit of all, ignoring your body's signals by failing to check blood pressure and managing stress, leaves you vulnerable to sudden, life-threatening cardiovascular events. The good news? None of these habits are irreversible. Small changes can dramatically reduce your risks. Drink water before coffee. Eat a nourishing breakfast with whole foods. Move your body, even gently, soon after waking. Choose low-sodium, heart-friendly meals. And take those 2 minutes each morning to check your blood pressure and tune in to what your body is telling you. These may sound simple, but science proves they can save lives. Remember, your heart has worked tirelessly for you for decades. The least we can do is protect it every morning by avoiding these silent but deadly habits. Because the truth is, what you do at the start of your day doesn't just shape your energy, it shapes your life expectancy. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. You never know. It could be the nudge someone else needs to take control of their health today. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 morning habits surprised you the most about its effect on your heart? Or do you have your own tip that's helped you keep your heart strong in the mornings? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.